What's going on, everybody? Y'all caught me fixing a mid drink, but
I was
anyway,
about to say.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting that. So, anyway, it's cool. I hope everybody's having a good day. The weather has turned out a little bit chilly, but it's nicer today, and hopefully, maybe I don't know. What do you think, Caitlin? Summer might be knocking at the door. I don't know.
Well, first we have to go with spring.
With spring, yeah. Well, the spring thing, yeah. You got to do the spring. Although the time change kind of floored me a little bit. I was just not good on the time change. Uh, so, anyway, for everybody that's tuning in, remember you can comment. When you comment, Caitlin, if it's a good comment, Caitlin will read it and me or my guest will answer it. And this makes it totally interactive, I guess. Is that the word? Interactive?
Yes.
Okay. So just making sure. So we're going to have some fun. And guys, we've got a very talented young man because he's a singer, he's a songwriter. The way he does his lyrics and the storytelling that he's able to do with that, it is really, really enjoyable to listen to all his stuff. And a lot of people feel that way because this man has been streamed over 75 million times and has been in the top 10 in 12 different countries. So I guess he's worldwide. I think it's awesome. So anyway, we're going to bring Mr. Jesse Ruben to the show. Hi, Jesse. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going? I didn't bring a Diet Coke. I feel very left out.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's I used to be big on the regular Cokes and the Mountain Dew and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then the doctor got to looking at me funny, and then I had to go to the diet. I need to go back to water. I'm just, I got to do the water thing.
You could have just kept saying nice things about me and not even brought me on. That was great. I love that. Thank you for that compliment.
You know, and here's the way I look at it. Is it really a compliment when it's reading off exactly what you've accomplished with the talent you have?
I mean, yes and no. I think just the lyric writing thing, like, so I find that so few people pay attention to that as much as I would like them to, and I put so much effort into it. And so when people notice that or pay attention to it, it's like, well, that's what it's for.
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe how many people actually will take and pay attention to the lyrics of a song.
Yeah.
And I love it when I run into those people because it's like, especially if you can write a song and they're listening to that song and the lyrics are touching them in a particular way, you know, whether it's helping them or, oh crap, I'm not the only one, or, you know, something like that. You know, that's the beauty of that whole songwriting thing when people can do that.
That's the goal, right? Is to say something that people have been feeling, but they don't know how to say it themselves.
Yeah.
And then they get to see themselves in it. And hopefully it also rhymes and is catchy.
No, I got to ask this question because I've never really figured this out.
Great.
Why do songs have to rhyme?
They don't have to, but there's something about, and I really like rhyming. I put as many rhymes as possible into my song because I just think it's an interesting way to, I find it to be like putting a puzzle together. And if I can get as many rhymes in as possible, but it just makes, it makes your ear more comfortable because you have something to, like, it gives it momentum. Whereas if every line ends differently, it's just harder to listen to. And there are songs that do that and do it very well.
Yeah.
But rhyming definitely like gives a song momentum. And then when you have parts that don't rhyme, it really makes them stand out.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I'm not a songwriter. So I just, there's times I'm like, well, why do they have to all rhyme? Why is there all?
But it's a challenge too, right? It's like, here's the story I want to tell. Here's what I want to say. but I have to do it in with this rhyme scheme and this number of syllables and this many lines. And so there's no right or wrong way to do it, but sometimes the rhyming is makes it more interesting because it gives you parameters. Whereas if you just go like, if somebody said to me like, write something, well, that's impossible. But if someone said like, write me 4 lines and the first 2 rhyme and the second 2 rhyme and it's about this, that's much easier, you know? So giving yourself parameters, I think, is helpful.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I keep threatening, because I know a lot of songwriters here in Nashville, and I keep threatening that I'm going to come and set in on one of the writers' rounds where, 2 or 3 people will get together and write a song.
Yeah, of course.
And because it's interesting to me how all of that takes place.
Yeah.
Do you write with other people or just yourself writing?
No, all the time. And actually, I just moved down to Atlanta like a year or so ago. So I've been going to Nashville quite a bit. And the thing about writing with other people is it's like such an intimate experience, but
Yeah.
also I think songwriting is like the closest thing to magic I mean, making art in general, but all I do is write songs, but like you're turning silence into a thing that has never existed before. Just like, and
Yeah.
like, there's a magic to that, and getting there with other people, especially if you don't know them, can be really fascinating. And then you find people that you work really well with and you really trust. But you should totally sit in on those sessions. You probably listen, if you're there, if you're in the room, you get a cut, whether you say anything or not. So, just like sneak your way in. But no, I think I love writing with people that have never written a song before, because they don't have any baggage about it. They don't have any rules. They're sort of just like open to whatever. And I think it's brave, by the way. It's brave to never write a song and then try and it's brave for me every time I sit down, and I've written hundreds.
Yeah. Well, Jet Jurgensmeyer was on my show, and me and him were talking, and I told him, I said, this was before we ever started recording the show, but I told him, I said, I'd love to come and sit down, because if y'all were like, okay, who's got what? Dude, I was in the music industry for 40 years doing lights and sound. And my day job was driving truck. And I've seen the whole United States and Canada 4 times. What story do you want?
Yeah.
Because I've got
and that's what it is. Like, somebody says something or someone has one idea, and then you're just like off to the races. And it could take 10 minutes to get there. It could take hours. Sometimes it doesn't happen. But like, I think part of it, so much of this job is like trying to book shows and, trying to connect with fans and get more streams and do all this stuff. But I also think you have to live a life a little bit. Otherwise, you got nothing to talk about, like a lot of the songs that I'm writing now are way different than the songs that I was writing when I first started out. My first 2 albums are about the same girl breaking my heart. Two albums.
That must have been a true story.
It sure was. Yeah, it sure was. But then I remember like a while ago, a long time ago now, because I've been doing this 20 years, but I did a show. I'm from Philly originally. I did a show in Philly, and a bunch of people came, and I made a bunch of money, and the show was great. And I got home that night, and I just remember thinking, I was laying in bed, and I was thinking, like, I gave those people nothing. I provided them nothing. All I did was convince them that this girl was like mean. And everyone was like, yeah, screw her. And she's great. And so it was like this big epiphany for me of like, okay, if I'm going to do this and people are going to spend their money and get a babysitter and pay for parking and do all these things to come out to see me, I better start saying stuff that's worth listening to. And it really shifted my perspective about writing. And and the songs that I've written since then have become much more successful than the ones at the beginning.
Well, I mean, I haven't had the privilege to see you live,
Yeah.
but I have had a little bird whisper in my ear about the way you handled performance when you first started
Yeah.
to the way that you're more engaging with the audience now.
Yeah. I kind of realized a while ago, like, if you don't like me at 9 songs, you're not going to like me at 14. So, so I really, I talk quite a bit. I think it's important. I take the responsibility of being on stage very seriously. Well, first of all, 7 of the last 11 years, I was like sick in bed. So the fact that I'm even healthy enough now to be like driving around and talking to you and being on stage is amazing, and I'm very grateful for it. But when you're the one on stage, you are responsible for how everyone else in the room feels. So when I walk out, even if it's to a crowd that has never heard of me before, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I've done this a million times, and I want them to be comfortable. So if I walk out and I'm like, "Hey, my name's Jesse. I don't know. I just wrote this song. I hope you like it." They're gonna be like, "What am I doing here? He doesn't even want to be here." So I always, when I was growing up, when I would see shows, if people just played song, I always wanted to know who they were as a person. So for me, a big part of my performance is like, here's who I am, and here's where these songs came from, and some of it's going to be heavy and some of it's going to be funny, and we're all humans, so we're going to get the full human experience, you know. And I think that's important.
Well, yeah, you got to, because I don't know. I mean, the thing that gets me about a lot of the way things that y'all do as songwriters, putting them all together and then going on tour and performing those songs and everything. It's like, well, like you said a while ago, the magic of it, you know,
Yeah.
because you get so many people in that show and you're touching them and they're enjoying it. It's like one huge community group effort, you know?
Yeah.
It's something
And
about,
I think especially now with technology and how we're so like, everyone's on their phones all the time or on their screens all the time, like having people have a shared experience in a room
yeah.
is so rare, but is so special and also so necessary. Like,
Mhm.
just to, like, people aren't on their phones at my shows. They can't be. I would yell at them, you know. I would, like, you could see the light and I would point
Yeah.
it out and then, you know, give them a hard time. But it's like, yeah, we're not supposed to just be like this all the time. We're supposed to be together. And so again, like, that's one of the great parts of playing shows. And then also, like, the dangerous feeling of like playing a song that's new that no one's ever heard before. And that's like jumping off a cliff and not knowing what's at the bottom, because you know if they like it or not. They'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
Or you know, if you write a new song and they love it, it's a very different response than, well, it was okay. You know, you'll
Yeah.
know. And so that's part of it too, is for me, is like trying to do something new every night, trying to say something different every night. Sometimes I like, if I'm really feeling brave, I'll make up songs from suggestions from the audience just to see if I can. And that either goes really well or absolutely crashes and burns. But again, we're all having an experience. We're all crashing and burning together, you know, like, and it's okay. I'm alive, you know, like, I'm not going to die. Everything's fine. But it just makes it like human and in the moment. And yeah, I think that's really important. I think that's why live performances are so important.
Oh yeah. That's I'm a big thing for live performances now.
You're in a good city for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was born and raised here, so
Mm.
it's yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're lucky.
But no, being able to do, you know, being in the production booth and doing the sound and on occasion I was doing the lighting and stuff, and it was a lot of fun for me when I had a different guy doing the sound, and I was just doing the light shows, and I could create the light show behind them with what song they were doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge part of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I loved every minute of it before the computers came and took it all over. Yeah. Well, back then, if you did a light show, you did it by hand and you did it by ear because you're listening and you're vibing and you're trying to stay a good light show with the words and the music that was coming off that stage. It was almost like painting a picture behind them, and I loved it.
Totally. Yeah. Because you got to be creative, you got to be in the moment, you're not second guessing yourself, like you're doing, because by the way, most people don't notice the lights of a show unless they're horrible or something goes wrong, right? Yeah. And then when you have a moment like this really great emotional moment and the lights change, like that could be the thing that just like really pushes people over the top, and they don't even realize it because they don't notice. Nobody know. I could play the songs in the same key, in the same rhythm. Nobody would know. Most people would never notice that. It's just about how they feel. That's all they remember is how, especially if they've never seen you before, all they remember is how you made them feel. Yeah. And lights are a big part of that. I think stage performance is a big part of that. Obviously, the songs are a big part of that.
Oh, but, yeah. It's just amazing to me. So, dude,
but that's cool. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You was in Brooklyn for 15 years?
Yeah, I'm a product of the Northeast. I grew up in Philly. I went to college in Boston. I made a little 1.5 year journey to Nashville for a little while. Loved it. It got way more expensive since then. And then then I moved to New York, and I was there for about 15 years. My wife is an actor, and she has been, hustling for forever. And there's a new soap opera on CBS, and it airs every single weekday from 2 to 3 p.m. And she booked the lead on that soap opera. And so she literally booked it, and they were like, we start shooting in Atlanta in 3 weeks. So we need you here in 3 weeks. So we packed up our apartment, like moved. It was very, very quick, but also like she'd been in commercials. She had done voiceovers. She had, she was on like Law and Order and SVU, and she'd done some smaller things, but never to have a job like this, never to be. I mean, she's on TV like 3 to 5 days a week. I go to the gym and my wife is on the television. It's crazy. So, so we moved down to Atlanta like a little over a year ago. It's been a big transition. I had to get used to driving. The only time I drove was when I was on tour. Now I gotta drive to the grocery store. I've spent so much time. I spent so much time in a Target parking lot. I cannot even tell you. But it's, again, it's like it was a really interesting time for me because I had just gotten healthy. And so I was sort of starting my career over. I had just put this new album out. Now I'm in a brand new city where I don't know that many people. I don't know a ton of songwriters. So I really had to be out of my comfort zone, and I was going to shows, and I was asking people, friends of friends, if they knew anybody. And there's a really great music community in Atlanta. There's some great venues there. And also like there's a lot of great opportunities to play that I just never knew about because I was so far away. So it took some adjusting, but it's been really fun. But yeah, New York, it's either you love it or you hate it. And I thought we were going to be there forever. And my wife, her name is Jen. I don't know why I keep calling her my wife. Jen was really ready for a change. And now she's on TV all the time. And it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Well, I mean, at least they're doing it in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's traffic is crazy down there.
But I got lucky because it's super close to Nashville. Like we could have been it could have been shot in LA, Chicago, Vancouver. A lot of shows are overseas. Like, what am I gonna do from Croatia? You know what I mean? Like, seriously. So now I'm like 4 hours from Nashville, so I get to come all the time. I go like once every month or two. So I got really lucky. I'm still on the East Coast. Like, for me, it worked out perfectly. For her, it worked out great.
Because to drive from Brooklyn to Nashville, that's what, 18
hours? Yeah, I would fly. I wouldn't do it. I can't do that. I'd go insane.
Dude, I have drove through New York so many times in my life.
Yeah.
But never, because I was in a big truck. I didn't have time to stop and see anything or go anywhere. Right. I always wanted to go that whole street that's nothing but like theater playhouses and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to go down there and just go see some plays and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing there. The theater district is incredible. I think what's really special about New York, I heard somebody say this, I can't remember who it was, but being in New York City, because there's so many people in such a small area, it reminds you that you're not the center of the universe. Like, most of us walk around like we're the main character in our own movie, but you get on the subway and there are people of all different cultures and all different backgrounds, and you hear all these different languages, and you're on the sidewalk and someone is like sobbing uncontrollably because they just got broken up with, and someone else is wearing a crazy costume, and like it's all of humanity in one place. And that's really what I loved about it. Was like, what I do love about it is the energy of having so many different people and so many different cultures together in a tiny space. Now we live in a house now, as opposed to an 800 square foot box. That's been a big upgrade. Our dog is much happier with it. So that was great. We have all these empty closets and drawers because we didn't have enough stuff to fill the house, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been different too. Is like, we're not on top of each other all the time. We've got our own space. I've got a music studio on the first floor. I can make noise. I don't bother anybody. You know, in New York, even we got a separate studio, and even then it's like somebody's playing drums through the walls and I can't play guitar very loud. People hear it. Like, just being able to that is really holds back creativity when you're being self-conscious, you know? So having my own space that's just mine and I'm not bothering anybody, because I stay up late too, right? So I never have to worry that someone's going to be like, the neighbor is going to be banging on the floor with a broomstick or something.
Yeah.
And that's been really fun too. So there's been a lot of positives about it.
Well, yeah. And the weird part about it is what you was paying in rent, you're probably paying for the whole freaking house now.
For sure. I mean, it's a different thing. Listen, my rent when I was in Nashville was like $425 or something.
Yeah.
And now it would be a lot more. But
I think well, I mean, because my studio is in the living room of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. I got my own little space and everything. But I was looking at studios in Nashville.
Yeah.
And you're talking like a 10-by-8 room.
Oh, you mean my bedroom in New York when I first moved there? Oh, yeah. That's what you mean?
And the price is just through the freaking roof, man.
Yeah.
It's like almost $28 a square foot.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that. I can't do that.
Mm-mm.
And besides, I think it takes the whole vibe of the show away, you know?
Yeah.
Because here
you got a good vibe going.
Yeah, it's more homey, and hey, you want snacks? We got snacks. You got a drink? We got drinks, you know? And it's more laid back and comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, when you're comfortable, that creativeness will come out.
Yeah.
Because you're not stressing about stuff. You're not worried about stuff.
I knew I have one song that's done really well for me. It's called This Is Why I Need You. That's the one that, you know, has all the big numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
I was living in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment with a friend of mine. My bedroom was about 10 by 10. and I had a lofted bed. I was sitting at my desk, but I had a lofted bed, and you could touch the lofted bed from the desk. That's how small the room was. And
Oh, man.
and Jen was asleep in the lofted bed, and I wrote that song, "This Is Why I Need You," while she was asleep 4 feet from me. And that was when I literally when I knew that I was gonna marry her. I mean, I had realized it before, but I was like, if I can, because I don't like writing with anybody around. And
Right.
she was so close, and so I really knew, like, if I can be creative in front of this person, that close to this person, like, she's stuck with me forever, you know?
That's almost like a soulmate vibe, dude.
I knew as soon as she walked in the door. I knew as soon as she walked in. I mean, I got very lucky. I was not. I was 26. I was on the road all the time. I was like, I'm just gonna focus on my career. Like, I'm not gonna pay attention to any of that. I don't want anything serious. And she walked in, and I went, "Oh, well, that's out the window," you know. And I did pretty much everything possible to screw it up, and she still stuck around. So I'm very grateful for that too.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that she's an actress and
Yeah.
doing what she loves to do. And I mean, y'all kind of vibe, man. I love that.
Yeah, although, you know, right now it's great, and then there are times, like, sometimes it's like, "Oh, it's great. You have 2 artists in the same house." And then sometimes it's like, "Oh, you have 2 artists in the same house."
It's all in how you pronounce it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think she's so talented. She really, I would have a hard time if my partner thought my songs were bad, you know?
Yeah.
That would really be hard for me. She doesn't freak out about them, but she likes them. And I've written her so many songs. I wrote her a song for one of our anniversaries a couple years ago, and she loved it, and she was, like, crying and, "Oh my god, thank you so much." And then, we had dinner we had lunch with my mom, like, a couple days later, and my mom said, "Well, what'd you get Jen for your anniversary?" And Jen was like, "He wrote me this song, and it's so beautiful, and I love it so much." And my mom just looked at me and went, "Songs ain't jewelry, Jess. Songs ain't jewelry."
I'd be like, Mom, come on.
I was like, "But it was a really good song," you know?
Man, I can't believe Mom sold you out like that, dude. That is hilarious. You know, the bad part about it, though, I think guys, I think when they do meet that person that they're meant to be with, it's amazing to me how moms who used to like do everything for you and do all this stuff,
Yeah.
now they're like trying to cut your legs out from underneath you. Like, they're all on her side and the heck with you.
Oh, Jen talks to my mom way more than I do. Way more.
Man,
That's all right. Like, I love it. I love that they're close. It's great.
that's awesome. I love it. So what all have you got planned for the future, man?
That's a great question. So I'm on the road promoting this record. It's called Belong. It came out late last year, October, but it actually sat on my hard drive for like 2 or 3 years because I made it right before COVID. Like, I finished it like right as COVID was starting, and then I got sick, and so yeah, I couldn't. I mean, obviously, COVID was a whole thing, especially up in New York.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't put it out because I couldn't do anything with it. So I got better. I got better about a year ago, and so now the record's out, and I'm really excited, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm doing as much promotion as I can. I'm playing as much as I can. I'm doing a lot of like radio stuff. I'm trying to do festivals. I'm trying to travel as much as I can. I'm playing in Alaska next week. Somebody asked me to come to Alaska, so I'm playing in Alaska. And then I do a lot of work with kids. I have a song called "We Can," and there's a whole program around that song. It's a service learning program called the
Right.
We Can Project. So I do everything from like elementary school, middle school, high school, summer camps, corporate events, all that kind of stuff. And I really love working with young kids, and I really love working with high school kids actually too, because we are not doing a good job of telling high school kids that you can be creative as a job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, you have to have a backup plan, you have to go into business, like AI is going to ruin everything. And so when I work with young people, it's a chance for me to say all the things I wish somebody had said to me when I was a kid. And so for the young ones, it's like, it's okay to be shy and quiet and sit in the back of the class and not know what you want to be. And like, I was scared of my own shadow back then. I would get when I had to give like speeches in class, I would get so nervous for days. When my teachers found out what I do for a living, they like could not believe it at all.
Wow.
And the program is like, it's about encouraging young people to try new things, not just young people actually, but teachers too. Try new things and also give back to their communities. And I think we really shortchange young people a lot. Like, oh, well, they're only in 4th grade. Like, what difference could they possibly make? And I've seen some really amazing things, and I've seen a lot of money raised, and I've seen neighborhoods become communities and rally around family. I've seen like a 4th grader, one of her classmates, their house burned down over the summer. And so this 4th grader was like, well, what if our goal for the school year was to build them a house? And every week teachers were going out and hammering nails. And I came at the end of the school year, the school presented this giant check to Habitat for Humanity, and Habitat for Humanity handed them the keys to their house. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And so to be able to do stuff like that, it's really, I mean, I'm sure you've probably had other people say this maybe, but this job is inherently self-focused, especially for me, because I'm independent, right? So you're looking at the whole enterprise right now. So it's really easy for me to get focused on like, how many tickets have I sold? How many streams did I get today? And well, I had more yesterday, so now today's going to be a worse day. And so if I have other things that I can do where it gets me away from just focusing on me and focusing on other people and just stuff that's way bigger and way more important than how many streams I got, that to me is like, it really helps. It really helps put it into perspective. And because this job is, sometimes it's the most amazing thing in the world, and sometimes it's really tough. And so when it's tough, to have the other things to focus on can be really helpful for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how so many things out there are, it's like the world doesn't want you to actually focus on something. The phones, the video games, you got this, you got that, but the focus on humanity.
Yeah.
To me, that is a huge thing.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get distracted. I mean, so the We Can project is based on the song called We Can, which I wrote because I ran a marathon, because a friend of mine suffered a spinal cord injury, and he's doing great. He's married. He's got 3 kids. He's a lawyer. He's incredible. He's my hero.
Yeah.
And he needs so much more help, and he deals with so much on a daily basis, And the Christopher Reeve Foundation, Christopher Reeve, who used to play Superman on TV, they were so wonderful to his family. And I called them and I was like, hey, I want to help. What can I do? Can I perform for you? Can I pass out flyers? Like, whatever you need me to do. And they were like, why don't you run the New York City Marathon for us? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And then I said, and I really, like, if you want to talk about like the power of language, I said yes. And that one word changed my whole life.
Like, you've been like in it 3 times now for that foundation.
3 for that foundation, and then 5 more for Lyme disease research. I tried to get to 10. Jen got to 10. I only did 8. But without that song, without running that marathon, I don't write that song. I don't create this program. I don't get to. I've worked in 33 different states, something like that. I have the key to the city in Boonville, Tennessee, that was presented to me by the mayor. I've been on TV. I got to play the song on the Today Show in front of millions of people. I've been all over Canada. Like, again, I played that song on CNN in the Philippines. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's to create something that resonates with people, and you just see all these different things had to happen in the order they did in order for everything to work out. And if I had just said no on that phone call, I don't know what my life would be like. I'm sure it would be great, but it would be very different, you know?
Yeah, but you know, to get a personal invite to be on the Today Show, I mean,
yeah,
that is huge, man.
that was again, like, just the way the world works sometimes. I haven't told this story in a long time. I had a friend whose mom heard me on the radio in Long Island. She wasn't my friend yet, and she was writing for some like small newspaper, and she wanted to do an article about me, and it was great. Literally, her mom heard my song on the radio, called her and said, "You should write about this guy. His song is good." So she wrote this little article about me, and then she started working at the Today Show. And so anytime I would talk to her, I would joke with her and be like, "When am I going to get to play on the Today Show?" And she would just kind of laugh, you know? And then finally she was like, "Well, I can't get you on the air, obviously, but why don't you come in and play for some of the employees on their lunch break?" And so I did. I went in and I played. They were all eating lunch, sort of half paying attention. And it was just in like their break room, and I unplugged. I just played them a couple songs, said thank you, and left. 2 years later, Hoda, as a gift to the employees of the Today Show, she hires her favorite spin class instructor and pays for everyone at the Today Show to take a spin class. And on the playlist of that spin class is that song "We Can." And as the song, this is like as she is adopting her first child. I don't know any of this, right? But I didn't know any of this had happened. The song starts playing, and Hoda stops the class and is like, ask the instructor, like, what is this song? Like, I've never heard the song. What is this song? And she says, "Oh, it's a song called 'We Can' by this guy, Jesse Ruben." And Hoda goes, "Has anyone heard of this guy?" And everyone in the room went, "Yeah, he played for us on our lunch break 2 years ago." And so, and again, I don't know that any of this happens. My mother calls me the next day and says, "You were on the radio today." And I said, "No, I wasn't." And she said, "What do you mean, no, you weren't?" And I said, "If I was on the radio, someone besides my mother would have written to me or told me that I had been played on the radio. You know, somebody would have heard it and said they liked it, whatever." And so I didn't think anything of it. And then that night, my wife and I got into this like dumb fight. I don't remember what it was about. Doesn't matter. And the next morning, my phone is ringing. And I think it's Jen like calling to continue our fight. So I turn my phone off and I turn it back on at noon. And I've got like 400 text messages, a bunch of missed calls, because they had played like half the music video of my song on the Today Show. But I was like, I was like, don't they have to ask? Like, nobody said anything. So then I called my friend who worked there, and I was like, "Okay, so apparently that you guys played my music video on the show. Do I get to play on the air now?" And she was like, "Well, I don't know. We're really busy." And like 2 hours later, I got an email from Hoda's assistant saying, "Can you come in and play? We'd love for you to come play on the show." And such an incredible experience. She was so amazing. I'm like, sound check is like 4:30 in the morning. I haven't slept in 2 days. You know, I'm so nervous. And she comes in, she's singing along to the words. She gives me this big hug. And it was just, again, to like, with no label, no publisher, no promoter, just literally like making a song that meant something to her at exactly the moment when she needed it. And then to give me that opportunity, which really changed my life, especially around the We Can project. Like, it's hard to imagine like when a couple million people see you play all at the same time, because you're just in a room with cameras.
Yeah.
And it, yeah, it really changed my life. It was a really amazing thing. I feel like I've been very lucky to do mostly being independent, and then I just get to like peek my head into like what crazy successful people do, and then I'm like, oh, this looks cool in here.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hang out in here more. But
Oh, yeah.
it's yeah, it's sometimes you get really lucky and things happen like that, and you don't take them for granted. And yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Well, I mean, but that's also heartwarming. It's got to be heartwarming for you to know that that song, We Care, has touched so many people, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it long enough that I have kids that are like, that'll write to me and be like, you came to my school when I was in 4th grade, and I just want you to know, like, I'm going to art school now. And for a lot of those young people, it's the first time they've ever seen a person sing and play an instrument at the same time. You know what I mean? So for some of them, they're like, you can just do that? Like, and so I've had a bunch of kids who are making a living playing music, or are in college studying music, and thank me for coming, or like teachers who said, it was the first time they ever said out loud that they always wanted to write a book, and then they write the book, and then it's just giving people permission. Like, I really like that some of my songs really give people permission to either do scary things, or to feel however they feel, or to celebrate their wins, or to just be human. Like, that's sort of what I feel like after everything that I've gone through with my life, my health, all these different things, like, my goal is to make people's lives like a little bit better. Because the way that music has made my life way better,
Well, I mean, dude, I got to tell you, the stuff that I've seen and the things that I've heard, me personally, I'm very proud of you and how you're touching people and how you're doing things, because I think in a way you're bringing a little slice of humanity back to the reality.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. I used to like try and figure out like different stage personas, and like, because I didn't know. When you're first starting out, you never know. And I would get people be like, you're talking too much, or you're being too personal, or what, or you're being too sad, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And I just realized, like, I had this epiphany of like, when I was like 22, I was like, I'm going to take over the world. Everyone's going to love me. If I write songs that are good enough, all my problems will go away. And now I'm like, not everybody's going to love what I do. I don't understand why, but not everybody's going to love what I do. But the people who need it, and at that moment in their lives, are going to really need it. And that is really important to me. And so, yeah, I mean, listen, I'd love to be playing stadiums, but it hasn't worked out that way yet. And if I ever get to that point, I will really, really enjoy it. And if I stay at this level and I'm playing clubs and theaters and house concerts and festivals and whatever, it's a great life. And I am grateful for it. And I think to not be myself, to be disingenuous, which it wouldn't feel good.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't. There's no point. Nobody writes my songs and nobody plays them the way I do. And why would I try and be somebody else,
Exactly. It's, I like to call it, you're not in the box. You've created your own box.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I mean, it just, with everything you've done and the people that you've touched, man, my heart goes out to you, brother. I mean, thank you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think when you go through difficult things, so I mean, I'm sure it's in whatever talking points you got, but I have Lyme disease and I've been sick for 7 of the last 11 years. 3 years I was sick, I got better. And then I went into remission and then got sick for another 4 years, just got better a year ago. And you can't go through something like that and not have it make a permanent impact. And like, the first time it happened, I was younger and I was like, all right, I've suffered. Once I get better, my career is going to take off because I suffered and now I deserve it. And I'm supposed to be huge now and I'm going to blow up. And I started doing pretty well. And then the second time it happened, it was like, I'm going to write the songs that I write and I'm going to play them to as many people as I can. And I'm going to do everything I can to get people to hear them. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I went from like my only goal in life, man, my only goal in life is to be a successful, famous singer-songwriter. That was all I wanted. And I used to say that in front of my wife, in front of Jen.
Yeah.
When the reality is now, my goal is to have a good life. And that means like family and balance and free time and not obsessing over how many emails I need to send and who turned me down and who I'm going to open for and what shows I'm going to play. Like, I can't only think about my career anymore. I just can't. It's just, it's not a life. And it gets drilled into you when you're young too. And I went to music school, right? So it was like, you got to hustle 24 hours a day. Because if you're not hustling, somebody else is working harder than you and you're never going to make it. And I did that for years. And I was like, I was tired and frustrated and bitter all the time. And then you get it taken away from you.
Yeah.
Or I got it taken away from me. And it just changed my perspective a lot.
Well, I mean, Shania Twain, she got Lyme disease and
I know. I tell everybody now I got it before it was cool because I got it in 2012. And then similar thing. And a lot of more people know about it now because of people like Shania Twain who talk about it. But when because I've met so many people now who have had it, and when you go through something like that, it's either like, okay, when this is over, I'm never going to talk about it again, or when this is over, I'm going to do everything I can possible to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. So besides the music stuff and then the school stuff, I co-founded a 501c3 nonprofit. We're called Generation Lyme. And what we do more than any other organization in the world, which is pretty crazy, is we host online support groups for people impacted by Lyme disease. We host about 300 a year. So if you have it, if you know someone who has it, if you have a kid that has it, if you think you might have it, because there are so many people, there are so many doctors that don't understand it. And there are so many people who are like, well, I'm tired all the time and I'm just not feeling well. And they're getting all these tests and nobody can figure it out. And as people like Shania Twain come out, and Justin Timberlake and all these, Justin Bieber, all these people come out and more people realize it can be really isolating and it can be really scary. So the best thing we know to do, again, like being in a room together, community, is just put them all on a Zoom together and have them talk to each other and meet each other. And so that's also, when you're asking like what's next for me, I mean, that's just going to continue to grow. Hopefully I'll sell a bunch of records. Hopefully I'll play a bunch more shows. I'd really, if there is a manager listening, I sure would like to not be sending all these emails myself, or a booking agent. Man, I'd love to have that free time so I don't have to focus on that. Just putting that out in the universe. But
Yeah, but if you had all that, you'd be
I'm
double
such an idiot.
double checking them, making sure they're doing it right.
Of course, for sure.
Crazy.
And I mean, that's so funny. And I think, sometimes I think like that was a big thing too. Like, oh, I don't actually need anybody else. Like I can do all of it, and it's great, and it's fine. And that's a really powerful thing because,
I've
again,
I've got a little. I don't know if it's feasible, but my idea is like when I was younger, my dad went hunting all the time. He took me with him and all this other stuff. And I was told what to watch for.
Yeah.
You know, and he was a stickler for it. You know, just make sure, you know, watch, always check yourself, always do this, always do that. And I'm like, is there some way that you could actually get that to where they were teaching it at schools and stuff?
Yeah, they're starting to do it. There's like certain states have like New Jersey just passed something where it's mentioned in the curriculum. There's a lot of like outdoor places. The hunting community is like way ahead of everybody else because they know, you know. But there's all these people doing advocacy work. I do a lot of patient advocacy work, and a big part of it is education and prevention and teaching doctors and teaching people what to look for and teaching young kids what to look for. But it's also just like so prominent. And so I think so many people have it that don't know. So if you are listening to this or watching this and you have not been feeling well, or someone in your life has not been feeling well for a long time and they've been going to doctors and nobody can figure it out, you just write to me on the internet. I'll help you out. I've talked to thousands of Lyme patients, because I know it's a really scary thing when your body doesn't work the way that you want it to, when you're trapped inside your own body. There's a song called Monster on the record that's just about that.
Yeah.
It's like hard to function. It's hard to be yourself. It's hard to be present. It's like, it's a scary thing for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's amazing how, I don't know. Because I was in the hunting community, you know, and we were taught all kinds of things, you know, and I wished a lot of that was actually taught in schools and stuff, or mom and dads that are not in the hunting community would actually teach that, you know, because it would save so many people, help so many people.
I know.
I would love it.
I know.
Dude, with that said, I really appreciate you being on the show. This has been so much fun, and I love everything you're doing. And we have definitely, on one of your trips to Nashville, we got to get you in the studio and hang out.
Oh, I would love that. I'm coming at the end of the month.
We'll see.
Yeah, I would love that.
So we're going to get off here and tell everybody the name of the album.
Yeah.
And then tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm really easy to find. The album is called Belong. Really proud of it. Really love those songs. You can find me online, jesseruben.com, JESSERUBEN. You guys spelled it right. Most people don't. I really appreciate that. jesseruben.com. I'm on Instagram at Jesse Ruben, Facebook, Jesse Ruben Music. If you want to, you can stream the album everywhere, but if you want me to really, really love you, you can buy it on CD or vinyl on my website. I got tour dates up on my website. Come see me, come say hello. Yeah, I'm easy to find. If you want more information about the We Can project, you can get that on my website as well. If you are interested in Generation Lyme, my nonprofit, that's GenLyme, GENLYME.org. We got a ton of great information, and we're up to like 15 or 20,000 people. So
sweet.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to plug, but the record is called Belong. The new single is I Believe You, Elizabeth. And I just appreciate you having me so much on the show, David. This has been really fun.
Well, I mean, We Care. I love that song. And the song that actually stuck with me a lot was This Is Why I Need You.
Yeah, that's the one I wrote when I knew I was going to marry my wife. That song I wrote to I wrote that song to acknowledge all of the people that helped me get through that experience, because I didn't know how to thank them all individually. So I
Yeah.
just and again, like, I wrote that song for a specific reason, and so many people, it's impacted so many people, and so many people have latched onto it. And
Yeah.
the other thing about that song that I'll tell you before we go is that I didn't write at all when I was sick. And that was I was really scared about that. Like, what if I get better and the disease ruins the part of my brain that has good ideas and stuff? And that was like the second song that I wrote after I got better. And I remember, like, the first thing I thought when I finished it was like, oh wow, I finished a song. That's great. And then the second thought I had was like, this is pretty good. I think I still got it. You know?
It didn't touch the rhyming section at all. I'm good.
But I appreciate you listening. And yeah, that song is another one that has just really changed my life. That song changed my life, writing that song, you know.
I love it, brother. And I appreciate everything you're doing for everybody out there, man. I love it.
You too. You too. For all the artists and musicians and songwriters and authors, all these people you're highlighting.
I appreciate that. I just want to help people out, man. You know, and independent artists, it's hard for them to get out there.
Yes.
Got to get them out there. Get people listening.
Well, I appreciate you.
And buy some merch.
Seriously. I got all kinds of stuff in that merch store, and it's sitting in my garage. I don't want it in the garage anymore. I need space in that garage.
Well, at least you got a garage.
Now I do. I know. What a good problem to have. Oh my God. Listen to me complaining about something.
Oh, just decisions, man. Jesse, thank you so much for being on, brother.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody. We'll see y'all later. Say bye, Jesse. All right, everybody. Y'all go and check out Jesse Ruben. Go to his .com. Check out all of this stuff that this man is doing, from the Lyme disease to everything. Go to his website. Y'all could spend probably 30 minutes to an hour just going to everything that this gentleman has done, and go stream some more music. Add some numbers to that 75 million streams. He would, I'm telling you, he would really appreciate that. He's got a lot of love for you guys. And I'm sure if you go to one of his shows, he'll be more than happy to take a picture. He'll be more than happy to shake your hand, have a small conversation with you. All these new artists are loving it. He will love it. And again, remember, like, share, follow, and subscribe. It helps us all. We're going to get off here. Love you. Mean it. Bye.